Good evening, Plume heads. It's your old pal Mike here. Welcome to episode 9 of the Revisited series. Tonight's the album that we're going to be revisiting tonight, or visiting, will be the 2013 album Red and White Blues, released in June of 2013. Yes, indeed. How's everybody doing out there right now? Everybody doing okay? Everything loud and clear? I certainly hope so. It would be a drag if it weren't. Hello, Jody. Nice to see you. Yari, nice to see you as well. We hear you loud and clear. Well, that's exactly what I was hoping to hear as well. Okay. Well, so this album, what can we say about this record? It was recorded in April of 2013 at 10 Volt Studio in Ottawa by Stand Up Steve. Yes, indeed. Yes, so Steve and I, it's Steve's studio. Stand Up Steve, look him up. He owns the studio. He engineered, co-produced the album with me. And hello, June Austin, nice to see you. Yeah, so Steve and I co-produced the album together, along with Ernie and Ben, of course, and we had that was the album where we first met, where Ryan Barwin made his first appearance on an MPB album. So Ryan has been in the band now for 8 years, if you can believe that. That is very, very hard to believe. Anyway, in March of 2013, March 6th, so what's the date today? Today is March 3rd. So March 6th, 2013, Stompin' Tom Connors passed away. And I know you've probably all heard this story before, but I'm going to regale you with it again. Stompin' Tom Connors, Canada's Woody Guthrie meets Johnny Cash, meets, I don't know who else you could compare him to. Woody Guthrie and Johnny Cash, and maybe Ramblin' Jack Elliott. But he passed away on March 6, 2013. I was sitting at a pub called the Family Wash in East Nashville with my buddy Thomas Patillo from One Feather Press. And we were sitting there and we were just having a beer. And I got a text message from my brother saying, "Hey man, Stompin' Tom Connors passed away." So I didn't really think any more of it other than, well, that is just... that's the end of an era. That is a chapter of Canadiana slamming shut right there. And so, it was sad to see. It was just sad to see the sweet passing of time. So yeah, that's the next morning. I got up, took Ruby to school, dropped her off at school, came home, and like I always do, I poured a cup of coffee, much like this. I sat at this desk and picked up my guitar and strummed a chord and sang "So Long Stompin' Tom, I Can't Believe You're Gone." And with that, I was off and running. About an hour and a half later, I'd written this song. And you guys have all heard me tell these stories before, or talk about songwriting where it can take me years sometimes to write a song. Other times it can take, 15 minutes or an afternoon. Well, in this instance, it was an hour and a half, and the song was done. So I recorded it really quick. I just did a very Stompin' Tom-esque type of recording. Just guitar, maybe a little ticky-tack electric guitar going don tick it don tick it don tick it don, back and forth, and I recorded the song, and it was really freaking me out how quickly the song came together and how much I liked the song already. And I thought, geez, I wonder if I should release this as a tribute to Stompin' Tom. So I contacted Riss, my buddy Riss. Riss is the gentleman who has helped me with my website and all my album covers and everything for the last, 15 years, I guess. And so I contacted Riss and I said, "Hey man, can you find some footage of Stompin' Tom online somewhere? Maybe we can throw together a little tribute video for this tribute song I wrote for him." And so he did more than throw together some footage. He did a fantastic video. It's just it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. And Risk, like he made it happen in about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. He put this amazing video together, and he locked it in with the song, sent it to me. I watched it 3 or 4 times, and I really liked it, but I wasn't sure what I should do with it. I wasn't sure if I should release it, because I thought, geez, it's going to look like I'm cashing in on it, on this passing of Stompin' Tom, and I didn't like that at all. So I slept on it. So I'm just going to sleep on it. I'll see what happens. And then, slept on it, that night. Get up the next morning, which was a Friday. So it would have been March 8th. Took Ruby to school, poured a cup of coffee, much like this. Sat down at my desk, this desk, in fact, and watched the video another 2 or 3 times. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to release this video to YouTube, and just as a tribute to Stompin' Tom. And if for some reason it makes any money at all, I'm going to give every penny, not proceeds, every penny to the charities that were near and dear to Tom's heart, which were the food banks and the homeless shelters, or the Salvation Army. And so once I made that decision, my conscience was clear. And so at about 10 o'clock in the morning on March 8th, I released the song. And or at 9 o'clock in the morning, I released the song. And then by 10 o'clock, it had about 40 spins. And for me, that was crazy. I'm like, oh my God, 40 spins? Are you kidding me? This is insane. It was like a runaway train as far as I was concerned. Well, that it didn't stop at 40 spins. By about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when I went to pick up Ruby from school, it was at 300 or 400 spins. And that was faster than any, that was the most... That was the least amount of time it took me to get 400 spins for any song I had ever done, far and away, even more so than 830 Newfoundland. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. And I remember calling Jenny going, this is really weird. I released this song, Stompin' Tom, and it's just kind of crazy, the reaction it's getting. And then around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got an email from The National, and which is, I think, is that CTV or CBC? One of the two. Either or. They contacted me saying, hey, we're doing a tribute to Stompin' Tom tonight on the 11 o'clock news. Can we use your song, So Long Stompin' Tom? I'm like, yeah, it hasn't even been out for 7 hours yet. Yes, please, by all means, go for it. And then I started getting emails from radio stations all across the country going, hey, do you mind if we add your song to our playlist as a tribute to Stompin' Tom this week? I said, absolutely, please, I'm thrilled. And this went on and on and on. When I went to bed at midnight, on Friday night, it was at about 1,000 hits. I get up the next morning around 6 o'clock in the morning, and Jenny and Ruby are up. They're already watching The Wizard of Oz for probably the 90th time in a row. And I walk in the living room, pour a cup of coffee, and I walk in the living room. And Jenny says, have you checked your YouTube page this morning? I said, no, not yet. She goes, you might want to. So I walked into I went back to the music room and hopped on YouTube, and it was at like 7,000 hits overnight. 7,000 people had watched that video overnight. And then, so that was Saturday morning. And by noon Saturday morning, I had answered hundreds and hundreds of emails from people who felt, who decided to, send me a note on how this song was having an effect on them. And it was weird. I've never experienced anything like that before, and haven't since either. But anyway, so that just kept unfolding or unraveling like that, on and on and on. And when I went to bed at midnight on Saturday night, it was at 14,000 hits. Get up the next morning, it's at like 21,000 hits. And Sunday morning, I get this email from someone named Brian Edwards, and I'm reading through the email. It says, hi, Mike, my name's Brian, and I'm Stompin' Tom's manager. Tom's wife just heard this song that you wrote for him, and she wants to know if you'll sing it at his funeral in Peterborough on Wednesday night. And needless to say, I didn't have to look to see what my schedule was. I made room on my calendar, and made my way to Peterborough. In fact, on that Wednesday night, I did have a booking on Wednesday night. My booking was Ruby's hockey team, of which I was the coach. Ruby's hockey team was playing in the final. It was the final game of the year, and we were the number 1 team in the league. And I had to go to this Stompin' Tom. I had to. I couldn't say, hey, can we push this back for a day? I got a hockey game I got to coach. Though, if anybody would understand, Stompin' Tom would understand why a guy would maybe ask to postpone a funeral so he could go coach his kid's hockey game. But I had to miss Ruby's hockey game, the championship game, and we lost. But that's okay. I heard that they fought right to the bitter end. But anyway, on the Wednesday, I found myself in Peterborough, right, singing this song with Tom's band, standing right beside his coffin. And it was a crazy, crazy thing. So, by the end of that week, it was at like 100,000 hits, something like that. I'd have to double check those numbers, but they were crazy, crazy numbers. And then the idea of, well, I should record an album. That's what I should do. So I called up Ernie and I said, hey man, I got all these songs. You've heard a lot of them already. We should go record. And he said, I got the room for you. Let's go to Stand Up Steve's place here in Ottawa. It's called 10 Volt, and let's do it. And so we did. A couple weeks later, I drove up from Nashville, drove right into Ottawa, and we spent a week in the studio and we recorded Red and White Blues. Now, in true to fashion, this is just, I don't know why I would do this, but I chose to do this. I thought if I included So Long Stompin' Tom on this record, I thought it would look like I was trying to cash in. So I purposely left the song off the record. Probably not one of my better ideas. I've had a lot of bad ideas, and that would be that's right there. That certainly mean the top 10 list of bad ideas in the music in Plume in my music career. So the song was not even recorded for the record, but I did have a handful of songs that I was very excited about that I already knew would work well together as a unit. And so Long Stompin' Tom, led the way to this record, but bowed out at the last minute. Mr. Allward, it is so nice to see you. So nice to see you. But anyway, so this is a little song. This is the first song that we recorded for the record. There's 2 versions on the album. The song is called Comin' Home Again, and it's about a guy who leaves his home in Petitcodiac, New Brunswick, to get himself a job up in Fort McMurray, working in the oil patch. And he eventually makes his way back home with a pocket full of money and a tale to tell. And this is the story. Let me tell you where I've been since I've been gone and back again. I'm coming in on an Alberta wind, bartender, bottoms up. Now listen, boys, it's been a while of tribulations and the trials have come along and drunken my bartender, bottoms up. You ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Oh, as long as you're pulling the pints, pull one for me. Ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Oh, it's been so long that I've been gone, but I'm back from away. And hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away, coming home again. Said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away is coming home again. The morning sun was at my back as I left Petitcodiac, making my way out to Fort Mac, bartender, bottoms up. I left my home in the Maritimes, I went across the Okobec line with my boot to the boards, and I'm making good time, bartender, bottoms up. So ring the bell, Jimmy, will you please? Well, Ontario was such a hell of a ways. Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Oh, well, it's been said the yellowhead's as flat as she is long. But hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. Best part of going away is coming home again. Said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away, coming home again. Rolling north on 63 and pulling in the McMurray. And Easterners are all you see, bartender, bottoms up. They're working in the tar sands, drinking in the oil can. They think we're all from Newfoundland, bartender, bottoms up. So ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Well, as long as you're pulling the pints, pull one for me. Ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? And you tell the boys who make the noise that drinks are on me. 'Cause hey, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away, coming home again. Said hey, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away, coming home again. Yeah, that's right. I said, hey, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away is coming home again. Said, hey, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away, coming home again. Working the patch to make the green and steeper rents I've never seen. And Christ, the price of gasoline, bartender, bottoms up. I spent most me money on booze and broads, the rest I wasted, swear to God. The odds were good, but the goods were odd, bartender, bottoms up. Now listen, boys, that's where I've been since I've been gone and back again. Now thank Christ some missus let me in. I said, bartender, bottoms up, and I said, hey, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away, coming home again. Said, hey, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of gone away, coming home again. The best part of gone away is coming home again. The best part of going away is coming home again. Thank you very much, Shelley Liner. I appreciate that very much. It is certainly one of my. I'm very proud of that little song. There's a whole bunch of influences that work their way into that song. The first time I was in Fort McMurray, the first time I really paid attention to the band The Pogues, and I was introduced to the Pogues by a friend of mine in Fort McMurray who I had just met that week. I just met him and his wife Jeannie and their kids. And his name was Jim Dory. And Jim is no longer with us. He passed away in December of 2015, December 8th, 2015. And so he would probably be the Jimmy. Ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? As long as you're pulling pints, pull one for me. So he would be the Jimmy in that. But he also introduced me to the Pogues. And one of the first songs by the Pogues that he played for me was a song called Sally McLennan. And the main character in that song is a guy named Jimmy. Well, Jimmy played harmonica in the pub where I was born. He played it from the nighttime to the peaceful early morn. And he soothed the souls of psychos and to the men who had the horn. And they all left very happy in the morning. But Jimmy didn't like this place in this world of ours where the elephant man broke the strong man's neck when he had too many powers. So sad to see the grieving of the people that he's leaving. They took the road to God knows in the morning. So we walked him to the station in the rain. And we kissed him as we put him on the train. And we sang him a song of times long gone, for we knew that we'd be seeing him again. And it's sad to say I must be on my way. So buy me beer and whiskey, 'cause I'm going far away. I'd like to think I'll be returning when I can, to the greatest little boozer and to Sally McLennan. And that would be the Jimmy. Yeah, that would be so Jim Dory and Jimmy from the Pogue song Sally McLennan. So ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? I was a bartender for, maybe 6 or 8 months at this little pub on the south side of Edmonton called the King's Horse, back in early 94, probably from February of 94 till October. something like that. And I worked the morning shift, or I opened, so the 11 o'clock, be there at 11 in the morning. And every morning at 5 after 11, these three guys from Dublin would walk into the pub, and they'd been living in Edmonton, I don't know, probably for 20 or 30 years, but there was these three Irish guys, and they would walk in, and they were they were central casting. If you were looking for three Irish blokes, these would be the three. I don't know if you ever saw the movie, what is it called? Last Orders. It felt like that, even though Last Orders, I think, takes place somewhere in England. But these three characters just had that feel of Last Orders. And but they would walk in every morning, and the three of them would belly up to the bar, and they would sit there, and it'd be completely empty. It would just be, I'd just have everything ready, and we're waiting for, there was nobody there yet. It was just these three guys. The bar still smelled like cleaning products, Lysol and Javex and all that, Clorox and all that kind of stuff that we would use to clean the bars at night. So that's what the bar would smell like, and they would all spark up their cigarettes, and they would always call me Mike, and they would say, one of them would call me Mihal, Mick. Sometimes they would call me Mick as well, and they would always say, Mick, pull me a pint, would you? And I just thought, pull a pint. That is just the greatest line. Pull a pint. Let's go down to the pub and pull a pint, shall we? Down to the pub for a pint and a puff. Mike, pull a pint for us, would you? And so I love that. I love that phrase, pulling pints and spilling whiskey and talking about the one that got away. So I kept that phrase, pulling pints, in my back pocket from 1994 until I started writing this song in October of 2008. That was when I stumbled onto the opening verse of this song, Coming Home Again. I had the, let me tell you where I've been since I've been gone and back again. I'm coming in on an Alberta wind, bartender bottoms up. I probably did pull you a pint at the horse there, Doug. Yeah. But, so I had that opening verse. Let me tell you where I've been since I've been gone and back again. I'm coming in on an Alberta wind, bartender bottoms up. Hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away is coming home again. Had that and knew that this was not going to be a song that I would write two more verses for and wrap it up. I knew this was. I already knew. I could see that this was a guy who was going to be. This was a road song. This was a guy making a trip across the country. I just knew. And so I started the song in October of 2008, like I said, and finished it in early 2013. I had played it a couple times at various shows, but I was over the 3 or 4 years leading up to that, but was still trying to negotiate verses here and there. But anyway, so that's that song. Tons of fun. That's that first song, and that was Coming Home Again. Let me see. Is Shane talking about hockey again? Jesus Christ, Shane. Is that all you do? Come to my gigs and talk through my shows about hockey and stuff? Is Wade on as well? What the heck's going on here, buddy? Got a lot of nerve, pal. Nice to see you, Paul. And nice to see Steve down there in Birmingham. Okay, this next song is a song I wrote. I don't even really remember when I wrote this. I wrote this sometime in 2011. I know that, and it was a quick write. I wrote this in one sitting, and it was I was trying to write a song like a Dave Edmunds, Nick Lowe, rock pile kind of song, which what was their big song? Nick Lowe's, he's got a pile of songs, but the song I was trying to write was or trying to rewrite or rip off was I Knew the Bride When She Used to Rock and Roll. Well, the bride liked the picture of the gown that her mother wore. And she was married herself nearly 27 years before. So I was trying to write a song that really just chuggled along like that. And I came up with this phrase. I don't know whether I came up with it or saw it on a bumper somewhere, but the phrase was, live it up until they lower me down. And I thought, yeah, I like that. And again, I don't know whether I wrote it, came up with it, or read it somewhere, but I remember it. And I knew I was going to try to wedge that into a song. And so this is what I came up with. Well, I want to spend the rest of my life just to kind of sort of hanging around. I want to roll down an open road and see the lights of another town. Well, I want to spend the rest of my time just chasing the crazy sound. Don't need no reason, don't need no rhyme to leave it up until to lower me down. Well, I was born without a pot to piss in or a window to throw her from. Yeah, what works for us, what works for them, and may not always work for some. Yeah, 'cause I wanna spend the rest of my time with this pretty little gal I found. I don't need no reason, don't need no rhyme to leave it up until to lower me down. Well, life is short now, but it's getting shorter every day. Yeah, you're only here for a couple of years, but then you got hell to pay. Well, I pray to God now every night to let me hang around. I'll be real good, I've heard. I'm just a drinking with my pallbearer. Yeah, well then he lock it all in a wing and a prayer. I live it up until to lower me down. That's right. Well, when the good Lord come and take my hand and lead me to the promised land. Hey, wherever I go, above or below, they'd better have a real good band. Yeah, 'cause I wanna spend the rest of my time chasing the crazy sound. I do not need no reason, do not need no rhyme. I leave it up on to lower me down. That's right. Yeah, life is short now, but it's getting shorter every day. And if you're lucky, you're alive till you're 105, but you still got Judgment Day. Oh, I pray to God now every night to let me hang around. I'll be real good, I swear. I'm a drinking with my pallbearers. Yeah, well then they lock it all in a wing and a prayer. I'll leave it up to the lower me down. Leave it up to the lower me down. Until they lower me down, down, down. Until they lower me down. Lower me down. That's right. Yeah. Live it up until they lower me down. That is a barn burner. That is a fun one. I enjoy that one immensely. All right, next song is a song that I wrote. It took me a couple years to write. I started writing this in probably... I started writing this song back in April or May of 2009 with my buddy Jackson Langley. He had the chord progression. And we were sitting in the backyard at my place. And he had the... he had that going on, and he might even had like the opening melody, but it was a drastically different lyric. I think the lyric was like a shot of whiskey in a glass or something like that, and I liked it, but I knew we could do better, and so we spent a little time hammering out a good lyric for the opener, which was like she said, I kind of like songs lyrically that start feels like almost halfway through a person's thought, and so this song is one of those songs where it goes, she sat and said, I guess that's that. I don't know, there's something that just sort of feels like you're walking by a conversation, and this is the tail end of a conversation. And so we were off and running with that. And we wrote the first verse and the chorus. The chorus, and you've heard me tell this story countless times before, the chorus is an old nursery rhyme. 1 crow sorrow, 2 crows a joy, two crows joy, 3 crows a wedding, 4 crows a boy, 5 crows silver, 6 crows gold, 7 crows a secret never to be told. And I got the inspiration for that from a wedding gift that Jenny and I got from Grant and Sheena Boyd in Wakefield. They gave us this plate with a painting, a really abstract painting of Wakefield on the plate. And on a telephone pole are 2 crows in this painting. And the name of the painting is 2 Crows Joy. And I had never heard that phrase before. If I had, I hadn't remembered it. And I remember saying to Grant, I said, what the hell is 2? I said, I love that phrase, that title, 2 Crows Joy. And he goes, oh, it's an old nursery rhyme, man. And he recited the 1 crow sorrow, 2 crows joy thing. And I was bound and determined at that point. I knew at some point I was going to try to wedge that into a song. And so I carried that around for a long, long time. Tried using those lyrics, that nursery rhyme in countless songs, never worked. The reason it never worked is because it was waiting for this song to show up on the doorstep. And so the when we got rid of the a shot of whiskey in a glass, and when we got rid of that, which worked, but I didn't think it worked as well as what we ended up with. In fact, I know it didn't. Once we got that, and then I just felt that I said I'm going to try to sing the 1 crow sorrow thing, see if it works, and it worked like a house on fire, and it felt like something that could have been on Harvest or Comes a Time or something, and I was pretty excited by that. And then I had another verse. We wrote another verse for it. I was never sold on it. And then had the wrap-up verse, which is still have that picture on the wall, that one of us in Montreal. That I had that, but the middle verse, we had lyrics, and I wasn't thrilled with them. I thought I liked them, but I wasn't thrilled with them. And anyway, I played the song for my buddy Clayton Bellamy, who won Roots Artist of the Year here at the Alberta Country Music Awards the other day. So hats off to you, Clay. You very much deserving. But anyway, so Clay was over at the house one day, and we were writing songs, and he goes, "You working on any new songs?" And I played him. I actually played him "Coming Home Again," and he goes, "Let's work on that one." I said, "No, I think I'm gonna write this one myself." And then I played him "5 Crow Silver," and he really liked that one. And then 6 months later, he was back at the house again, and we were working on another song. And he goes, "Hey man, can you play me that song about the crows again?" I said, "Oh yeah." So I played him the song, and then, and like I said, I was never happy with the second verse. And then when it came time for me to sing the second verse, there were all new words waiting there. And so I wrote a new verse right there on the spot. And well, Clay and I wrote a new verse right there on the spot. And then so the song went from being 2 writers to 3 writers in the time that it took to sing a second verse. And I am convinced I never would have written that second verse had Clayton not asked for me to play that song for him that day. And so he is every bit as much a writer on that song as I am, every bit as deserving. Ah, yes. All right. Shauna. Well, nice to see you, Shauna. I won't be playing 830 Newfoundland today. I am just playing songs from my Red and White Blues album. Steve Benoit, nice to see you, man. How are you? Been a long time. Anyway, so this is... This is 5 Crow Silver. Hope you dig it. She sighed and said, "I guess that's that." Around her fingers crossed a map. Said as sure as the break of dawn, feel of never coming back again. Beside her taillights down the road, the sound of lonesome on the radio. Well, the one crow's sorrow, two crows joy. Three crows a wedding, four's a boy. Five crows silver, six for gold, and seven's a secret never told. Still have that picture on the wall, that one of us in Montreal. Should she never come to call, at least I'll have Montreal, with a one crow's sorrow, two crows joy. Three crows a wedding, four's a boy. Five crows silver, six for gold, and seven's a secret never told. Five crows silver, six for gold, and seven's a secret never told. Five crows silver, indeed. Yeah, man. All right, next song is a song that I wrote with Trevor Rosen. Trevor has been kicking up a little dust over the last 5 or 6 years in a band called Old Dominion. And Trevor and I have written a lot of songs together over the years. The first song we wrote would have been Nothing I Don't Love About You from the 830 Newfoundland record. That first song we wrote that was recorded, I should say. And actually, it was the first song we wrote, too, now that I think about it. This next song, Goodbye Summer, is a song that Trevor and I wrote. We also wrote Waste a Kiss on Me from the Born by the Radio album, which will be featured next week, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, episode 10. The album being Born by the Radio. So please tune in for that if you can. But yes, so Trevor and I wrote that song. And then on the new record, Lonesome Stretch of Highway, Trevor and Matt and I, Matt is also, he's the lead singer in the band Old Dominion. The three of us wrote a song called I'm Your Huckleberry, which will be featured in episode 11 of the Revisited series. So 2 weeks from tonight. So tune in for that as well. But this is Goodbye Summer. One of my favorite songs of all time. Like top 10 songs. I could listen to this song probably once an hour for the rest of my life, no problem, would be The Boys of Summer by Don Henley. I just adore that song. There's not even just something about that song. Everything about that song kills me. Everything about it, from the that, oh my God. No. Yeah, it's just, it's a crazy song. Just a crazy cool song. And I wanted a song that, because to me it just completely captures the end of summer. It captures that feeling of just, ain't nobody on the road, ain't nobody on the beach. It really captures that feeling. When you know summer's over, but there's still a thread of summer hanging on, and there's a thread of winter around the corner. So I love that song because of that. And so we were trying to write a song like Goodbye Summer. I was also listening to, at the same time, another one of my top 10 favorite songs that I could listen to once an hour for the rest of my life, no problem, would be Crawling Back to You by Tom Petty off the Wildflowers record. Yes, Steve, you're absolutely right, man. The feeling that it gives, yeah, it's like... Anybody on the road? Yeah, it kills me. But Tom Petty's song "Crawling Back to You," which is another song that just haunts me, both in a minor key. I think I like songs in a minor key now that I think about it. Speaking of minor keys, have you ever heard the song from the Billy Bragg Wilco album, Mermaid Avenue, the first album in that trilogy? And the song is called "Way Over Yonder in the Minor Key." Oh boy. Check that one out. Ain't nobody that can sing like me. Ain't nobody that can sing like me. Way over yonder in the minor key. Way over yonder in the minor key. Ain't nobody that can sing like me. Yeah, man. Just a stunning song. So, yeah. Boys of Summer and Tom Petty's Crawling Back to You. Those are the two songs that heavily influenced this song. And I always loved the lyric in that Tom Petty song. I probably quote that song once an hour. And the lyric is, most things I worry about never happen anyway. Man. Yeah, man. I'm so tired of being tired, and as sure as night will follow day, most things I worry about never happen anyway. I'm crawling back to you. Yeah, man. You know it, Steve. Murray, nice to see you. I have a feeling that your Leafs won tonight. They completed the trifecta. Anyway, back to work for me. When the trees got nothing to lose, I get them here come November blues. When bare feet slip in her shoes, it's goodbye summer. When the temperature starts to fall, I'm wishing I could make time crawl, but it doesn't make a difference at all, so it's goodbye summer. Said it's goodbye summer. What'll I do now? Goodbye summer. I'll be here when you come back to town. Come back to town, that's right. November winds off Lake Michigan, shooting star and make a wish again. For all the things that might could have been, it's goodbye summer. It's goodbye summer. What'll I do now? Goodbye summer. I'll be here when you come back to town. When you come back to town, that's right. walking out of the mist in the morning sun after summer solstice. I never thought we would end up like this. It's goodbye summer. It's goodbye summer. What'll I do now? It's goodbye summer. I'll be here when you come. Goodbye summer. What'll I do now? It's goodbye summer. I'll be here when you come back to town. When you come back to town. Come back to town, yeah. Come back to town. Yes, indeed. Goodbye, summer. All right. Wrote this next song. What song is next before I move on here? Next song I wrote with a guy named David Bradley. He's from, thanks Julian, thanks Jenny, thanks Steve. Yes, indeed. I wrote this song with David Bradley, and he is a gentleman from England who is plying his trade as a songwriter and a performer in Nashville, Tennessee. And we wrote some pretty cool songs, man. Songs that have yet to see the light of day yet, but they will. Real deadly. Thanks, EB Boy. Deadliest, actually, truth be told. Yeah, all right. Anyway, so David and I wrote this song. We wrote a couple of other songs that will probably be on a record I want to do in a couple of years. And I would, in a perfect world, I'll record it at Sun Studio with just my guitar and my thumb, and just like a real stripped down Johnny Cash kind of, one of those kind of records. But David and I have written a couple songs that would work really well in that kind of environment. But anyway, so he and I wrote this song. He wanted to write a song. He said he wanted to write a song about the shore, so a song about like the docks, and I instantly went to Thunder Bay. I don't know if you've ever been to Thunder Bay. Yari, have you ever been to Thunder Bay out there in Herquette? That's quite a haul. Yari and Lucy out there in Herquette. Herquette is about 80 kilometers east along the Trans-Canada, east of Thunder Bay. But there's just something about Thunder Bay, man. It just feels, I don't know, man. It is, it's just, when you drive into that town after having either driven from Winnipeg or from Sault Ste. Marie, you really feel like you're just sort of driving, I don't know, like, because you're really kind of cut off when you're along the Trans-Canada. There are parts there where you're just, you can barely get any radio service, let alone any cell phone service or anything like that. So you're kind of out there, and I love it, especially in the summertime. It's a great drive. But in the fall, when the weather starts to come in, things can get daunting. I believe it's the lyric is the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of a big lake they call Gitchagumi. The big lake, it said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy, and that's what this song kind of is about. It's not the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's not what I'm saying, but when you pull, if you were to just be dropped into Thunder Bay, you would not know that you were in the middle of the country. You would think you would think you're in a port town. I mean, you could be in Rotterdam. I mean, you don't even know where the hell you are, because it's just that is one big lake. And Fort William, there you go. So anyway, this is a song I wrote called Thunder Bay, and it's just a little story song. And living out here in Thunder Bay, Well, the big smoke is still a couple days away. That's only if the weather don't turn. When the black clouds roll, when the big lake churns. Yeah, bless my soul, how them black clouds roll when the big lake churns. Well, my daddy moved us here back in '83. He got a job driving truck out on 17. But he jackknifed near Sault Ste. Marie. He left me to provide for the family. I got a job loading coal out where the black clouds roll and the big lake churn. That northern wind, here she comes again. Sometimes I feel like she's my only friend. On a northern wind, yeah, you can be sure how the black clouds roll when the big lake churns. Well, I met me a gal from Cacabaca Falls. She was on her way to school down in Montreal. We got married on a summer's day, a pretty little church outside Thunder Bay, with little bands of gold as the black clouds roll and the big lake churn. That northern wind, here she comes again. Yeah, steady and forever as a friend. Northern wind, yeah, you can be sure the black clouds roll and the big lake churn. Yeah, the black clouds roll and the big lake churns. Yeah. Living out here in Thunder Bay. When the time comes that I pass away, don't you bury me in no box in no field. Don't you dig no hole in the Canadian Shield. You just send my soul out where the black clouds roll when the big lake churns. That northern wind, here she comes again. Yes, steady and forever like a friend. On a northern wind, yeah, you can be sure the black clouds roll, the big lake churn. Yeah, the black clouds roll and the big lake churns. Black clouds roll and the big lake churn. Living out here in Thunder Bay. The big smoke is still a couple days away. Yes, indeed, Thunder Bay. Yes, a bit of a Steve Earle vibe to that one, wouldn't you say? Yeah. right, what am I going to do next here? I'm just going to keep going in order. How about that? Next song is called Through Another Town. And this was a writing assignment by my publisher, Diana Mayer. And she had been approached by someone who was doing a movie. And they had the movie shot, and they needed a song like this. And they sent me this, and I can't remember for the life of me the song that they sent me. But they wanted a song with this kind of, in a minor key again. And I'd never heard the song before, so it wasn't like something that, it wasn't something I was even remotely familiar with. But I heard it and I thought, okay, I get the feel for what they're chasing, and I'll see what I can come up with. And so I wrote this song, Through Another Town. And they passed, but that's okay. I came away with a very good little song. And yeah, it might be one of my favorites. Yeah. Everybody doing okay out there? June, you doing okay? Jackie, nice to see you. Well, thank you very much. The sound of my boots on the ground. I need a place where I can lie down. Little things along the way, little things I found, rolling through another town. Just the way an empty highway feels, full moon rising over endless fields, lost in thought, cracks in the windshield, rolling through another town. La 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 la. Out in the wilderness, high upon the plains, at 3 in the morning, all towns look the same. Smoke curls from the window, silhouettes in the window pane, rolling through another town. La 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 la. Day comes my body I no longer need. Don't you cry or shed a tear for me. Just leave my ashes and let the wind carry me, blowing through another town, blowing through another town, blowing through another town. Through Another Town. Yeah, lyrically, that's one of my faves. I really, really like that song a lot. I like that. Out in the wilderness, high upon the plains, at 3 a.m, all towns look the same. Smoke curls from a chimney, silhouettes in the window pane, rolling through another town. Man, ain't that the truth. If you've ever spent any time driving through the night, or made a habit of it, which Ernie and I certainly made a habit of driving through the night for years. And every time I sing that verse, that high upon the plains, in my head, I am probably in South Dakota somewhere. Head south on, is that I-29? I do believe it is. Heading south. I-29 goes from Winnipeg all the way down to Kansas City. But anyway, that's where I am at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I've lived that, and I've lived that on many a province and many a state at 3 o'clock in the morning, driving through the towns. And they all look the same. And my mind would just wander at 3, 4 in the morning when you would see lights coming on, people getting ready to go to work. And I would think, man, where are they going? What are they doing? Are they wondering what that 15-passenger van that just roared by their house is doing at this ungodly hour? Yeah, anyway, that's all I know about that song. Next song is a song called Red and White Blues, which is the title track of this album. And me just messing around with the English language, as opposed to red, white, and blue. I moved the word and instead of red, white, and blue, when you sing red and white blues, it becomes Canadian all of a sudden, because obviously the maple leaf, the red and white. So, and there were countless times over the years you'd be driving along the highway, the interstates, the highways and byways of America, and I would see, a Canadian license plate, or an Alberta license plate, or a Saskatchewan, or whatever, and you would always get a pang of home, and so that's what this song is about. It's just about John Hyatt has a song called "The Train to Birmingham." And in the last verse, I'm totally paraphrasing, but in the last verse he says, I never get to Birmingham, but getting there's not the plan. I just like the feel of going home. Woo! Man, I wish I'd written that line. But that's kind of what this song is in a nutshell. And here it is, Red and White Blues. I was rolling west on 10. I'd not been home since God knows when a license plate, well, it did catch my eye. It said Wild Rose Country, and it took me back home, and suddenly I just needed to be back 'neath them prairie skies. Back to where our winters are a little longer, but our beer's a whole lot stronger. And them prairie girls, they've been known to break a heart or two. Well, I'm trying to get home, and I'm tired of a telephone. I'm a northern man down in Dixieland with these red and white blues. Aurora Borealis, I can't see you from south of Dallas, but a Fort Worth glow is as close as I'm gonna get. But I'm making my way north, and of that you can be sure. I said, hey, pretty baby, I don't need no compass set to get back to where our winters are a little longer and our beer's a whole lot stronger. And them prairie girls, they've been known to break a heart or two. I'm trying to get home, and I'm tired of the telephone. I'm a northern man way down in Dixieland with these red and white blues. Red and white blues. The red and white blues. The red and white blues. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you're from, when you left or how come. There's something about that feel of going home. Familiar places, familiar streets, familiar faces all smiling at me. Hey, I don't need no map to know I'm home. Back to where our winters are a little longer and our beer's a whole lot stronger. And them prairie girls, they've been known to break a heart or two. Well, I'm trying to get home, and I'm tired of a telephone. I'm a northern man down in Dixieland with these red and white blues. I'm a northern man doing the best I can with these red and white blues. Red and white blues. The red and white blues. The red and white blues. Yeah. Red and white blues, man. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jackie. Drove like that coming home from an MPB gig in Chicago. Thanks, Jody. I appreciate that, too. Yeah, man. Boy, I miss playing Fitzgerald's. Those were some good times. Were you guys there? I think I may have asked you this a couple weeks ago, but I don't recall what the answer was. Or maybe I dreamt the whole thing. Were you guys at the Chicago show in that blizzard? It was like one of those once in a century blizzards, and we played a 3.5 hour show to about 6 people. Good times. Anyway, Peter Simon, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. All these songs, oddly enough, are on the same record. The Red and White Blues came out in June 2013. It's interesting that the Red and White Blues is. It has the same feel to me as Rock and Roll Recordings and Born by the Radio. And I'm not really sure why that is, other than maybe it just is. Maybe I think those 3 records were albums that I think were really self-produced pretty much entirely. Not self-produced, but I had, I don't know, I probably just took a little more control of the reins on those 3 records, or just, I don't even know if it was that. It was just like maybe I was a tyrant, I don't know. But we just recorded the songs and said, okay, what can we put on here? Pedal steel, okay, yeah, let's do that. And we didn't really overthink things too much, and all 3 of those records just have a really rootsy feel. I don't know. They feel like those 3 albums kind of work as a trilogy for me, but what the hell do I know? Let me see. So that was the Red and White Blues. There's some really fun lyrics in that one. Aurora Borealis. I can't see you from south of Dallas, but a Fort Worth glow is as close as I'm gonna get. Man, I'm telling you, if you're driving up from, I don't know, Austin, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, and you could see the. Well, I guess you can do that with any town. You can see the glow of Fort Worth, of DFW, when you're about an hour south of Dallas, Fort Worth. Just like you could see the glow of Edmonton, probably from Vegreville, really, or whatever. Or if you're like Portage La Prairie, and you can see the glow of Winnipeg. It's just one of those things that really only happens out on the plains, where you can see the oncoming town an hour before you ever get near it, before you get to the city limits sign. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you very much. Say hello to Ann for me while you're at it there, man, if you don't mind. The next song, Steve, you're going to know two of the characters in this next song. Probably in November of 1999, my buddy Joel Stewart sent me an email. Actually, no, he called me on the phone. I wasn't even doing emails at that point. He called me on the phone in Nashville, and he said, "Hey, man, I got 2 tickets to go see this folk singer from New Jersey. He's playing in Fargo. You want to go?" And so I said, as in folk singer, as in Springsteen? He's like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll see you there." So he flew down. He was living in Calgary at the time, so he flew from Calgary into Fargo. I flew from Nashville to Fargo, and we met at the airport. Our flights landed like 15 minutes apart from each other. Crazy. And when our friend Paula, out there in Alaska, when she found it, she's a big Springsteen fan. She's been to like 200 Springsteen shows. And I think, how many shows have you been to, Steve? Steve Hassan Plug, how many Springsteen shows have you been to? 200 plus? Easy, I'm sure. Anyway, so she flew in from Alaska to see the show. And so the 3 of us met at the airport, and we went to see Springsteen. Before the show, we were all in a cab, and I remember we're talking to the cab driver, and he wanted to know what the hell we were doing in town, and we said, "Well, we're here to see Springsteen. You going to see Springsteen?" And this guy was right out of the movie Fargo with the accent, and he said, "You going to see Springsteen tonight?" And he goes, "Oh no, tomorrow's the first day of hunting season." "Oh, okay, good. Yeah, all right. Can do. We'll see you. We'll say hi to Bruce for you." But anyway, we had a great time, and but we went out for dinner before the show, and we were sitting there at a table, and Paul was telling us about this about a friend. I can't remember even how the story came, but anyway, it was a story of a friend of hers. I don't know, it was split up. 114 shows. Holy, that's amazing. How many shows of mine you been to? Probably 30, I would think. That's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to try to trim this story up here a bit here because I'm getting a bit carried away here. But she was talking to a friend of hers who was going through a divorce, and they said, "Yeah, man, she took everything, man. She took everything but the blame." And she was telling us this story, and Joel looked at me and says, "I'm writing that song." And I said, "Me too." And so he wrote the song "Everything But the Blame" first. He wrote a song called, I don't even think it was the title of the song, but he used that lyric in the song. And then that was 99. This would have been about 10 years later, I'm writing in Nashville, and with a buddy of mine, and he says, "I want to write a song called Blame." That's all he had. I want to write a song called Blame. And I said, What do you think of writing a song called Everything But the Blame? And he goes, "Oh man, let's write that." And so we were off and running. We wrote that song. But so this is Everything But the Blame. Hope you dig it. She took everything but the blame. And now she's on that midnight train, going back from where she came. She took everything but the blame. don't know where we went wrong. She said she felt it all along. Still her perfume lingers on. I don't know where we went wrong. She took everything but the blame and the blood in my vein. She took my heart but not the pain. She took everything but the blame. She took everything but the blame and the blood in my vein. She took my heart but not the pain. She took everything but the blame. Well, it ain't easy to say goodbye. Guess that's why she didn't try. Now she'll go her way and I'll go mine. Well, it ain't easy to say goodbye. She took everything but the blame and the blood in my veins. Took my heart but not the pain. She took everything but the blame. She took my heart but not the pain. Well, I think I've gone insane. She took everything but the blame. Wrote that with Ken Johnson, indeed. Yeah, the Joe's November 6th. Yes, that is that. Were you at that show too, Steve? Were you at that one? November 6th, 1999. That is absolutely it. Wow. That's crazy. Man. That's cool. Yeah, Steve met his wife Anne at a Springsteen show in Paris. And she had an extra ticket. Her friend, she was going with a friend. Her friend at the last minute canceled, couldn't go, and so she's got an extra ticket. Steve just on a whim flew to Paris. He wanted to go see Springsteen. Didn't have a ticket. Buys a ticket from Anne, and the rest is history. Crazy. That's amazing. That could be one of those. That could be if they were ever to do part 2 of Springsteen and I. Is that what it's called? Springsteen and I. Me and Springsteen and I, that's a great documentary. If they were to do part 2, they could have Steve and Ann's story for sure. Next song is If Fins Were Wings. This is a song, one of the first songs I wrote when I got back to Nashville in 2006. Wrote it with Clayton Bellamy. And originally it was in a major key. Had a good idea for the verses, ripping, roaring across the old Canusa line. I'm a long gone daddy, gone a long, long time. Calling up my baby back in Sault Ste. Marie. Only she knows that I know. I know that she knows I know where I want to be. Yeah, something like that. And but it was in a major key. I was like ripping and a rolling across the old Canusa line. I'm a long gone daddy, gone a long, long time. Holding up my baby back in Sault Ste. Marie. She knows that I know where I wanna be. I get home, we're gonna get down to it. Driving all night, got to push on through it. And that works. Actually, it might even work better now that I think about it. But the chorus was lame. We had a lame chorus. The lyrics were just you know, 1-800 cliche. Man, it was awful. So we punted the, we didn't punt it. I sat with the song for another couple of years after we thought we'd finished it, knowing it wasn't working. But the verses were really cool. And one day I just switched it from a major key to a minor key. And it changed everything. And here it is. If fins were wings. And that is, again, that's one of those lines. If fins were wings. I didn't even know I was going to sing that line. I didn't know I was going to sing that line until I sang it. It wasn't a line that I was carrying around for any length of time. I'm rapping in a row across a Okaloosa line. I'm a long gone daddy, gone a long, long time. Call on my baby back to St. Marie. Yes, she knows it. I know where I wanna be. When I get home, we're gonna get down to it. I've been driving all night, got to push on through it. I'm a long gone daddy. I'm gone a long, long time. Driving a midnight caddy, and if these fins were wings, she'd fly. Well, I ain't seen my baby in a week and a half. Feels more like a year if you don't do the math. We're about as tight as two coats of pay. Oh, when we're in, we're in. When we ain't, we ain't. When I get home, we're gonna get down to it. I've been driving all night, got to push on through it. I'm a long gone daddy, on a long, long time. Driving a midnight caddy, and if these fins were wings, she'd fly. I said, hey, mister, you know I miss my girl. It's been a long, long time since I kissed her. I feel like I've been around the world. Well, if there's a moral hidden in this song, it's not that life is short, you're just dead for so long. I'm a long gone daddy, I'm gone a long, long time. Driving a midnight caddy, and if these fins were wings, she'd fly. Said I'm a long gone daddy, gone a long, long time. Driving a midnight caddy, and if these fins were wings, she'd fly. If fins were wings, she'd fly. If fins were wings, she'd fly. Lord, how she'd fly. If fins were wings, she would fly. Yeah, man. Okay, time for a couple more songs here, gang. We've been cruising along quite nicely. The next song is a song I wrote with J.J. Voss. He recorded it for an album of his as well, and I liked it so much I had to record it too. He's recorded a couple of songs that we've written that I am threatening to record as well. We've written some really good songs together over the years, and I think this was the first one that he and I wrote. So, yeah, it has a certain. It feels like the band. It feels like, yeah, it just has that feel of like the band. It's really all I can say. That cut time kind of Leave on Helm kind of groove, but. Let's see what I can do here. Better change my harmonica, though. I hope you guys are having a good time, because I am having a wonderful evening here today. This is one of those songs that when we started writing it, and I think every song I write, if you do your job, you can't pinpoint when the song was written. It feels like it's of no time. If you're writing a song about, I don't know, playing Pac-Man, then you have a pretty good idea that the song was written maybe in 1982. But if you can steer clear of those kind of references, and what language you use, then it can just feel of no time, and that is something that I certainly strive for, and this is one of them. Feels like it's time for a change. When you feel the ground rumbling, well then yonder come a train. There's a hard rain a-coming, Lord, gonna wash away the pain. Feels like it's time for a change. I've been walking around the streets of this town, looking for something not easily found. You gotta feel right in your own skin. Real change, but it comes from within. Feels like it's time for a change. Feels like it's time for a change. When you feel the ground rumbling, well then yonder come a train. There's a hard rain a-coming, Lord, gonna wash away the pain. Feels like it's time for a change. Oh, time for a change. It's not for me to say what's wrong. It's all I can do just to get along. There's not a responsibility on the shoulders of you and the shoulders of me. Feels like it's time for a change. Feels like it's time for a change. When you feel the ground rumbling, well then yonder come a train. There's a hard rain a-coming, Lord, gonna wash away the pain. Feels like it's time for a change. Feels like it's time for a change. Oh, time for a change. Yeah, man. Time for a change. All right, gang. So we have time for one more song here this evening. Thank you, June. Appreciate it very much. I have time for one more song, and it's the last song on the record, as luck would have it. A song called "Life Is Funny," and this was written in one sitting, and it was inspired. I read. Saw something online once, and it was like I was looking at kind of like famous last words, or just Yeah, famous last words, just cool phrases, old phrases, obviously old phrases that are written on like headstones and stuff. There's some of it is just so cool. And I saw this one that said, the inscription said, "Where you stand, I once stood. Where I am, you will one day be. Seize the day." And that really stuck with me, and I thought that was really cool. Where you stand, I once stood. Where I am, you will one day be. And kind of carried that around with me. And when I sat down to start writing this song, in the last verse, I paraphrased that quote. And yeah, it's called "Life is Funny," and it's I think it's a great little way to end a record. Yeah, it's just a great way to finish a record, great way to finish a show, even for that matter. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a nice little send off. Probably as close as I can maybe ever get to like the parting glass or something. One day, Murray, we will certainly have a pint. There we go. We'll sit in the DA room, the dead animal room there at the B, and we'll pull us a pint. Yes, indeed. Wouldn't be the first time we've done that, would it, Murray? No. Murray Pigeon and I have blown the foam off of many a beer in the pubs of Jasper. I can guarantee you that. Let's see. He says, "I'm really going to miss these shows the last 8 weeks." Thank you very much, Murray. I really appreciate that. We have 2 more shows. So next week we have the Born by the Radio, which will be fun. And then the week after that will be Lonesome Stretch of Highway Revisited, which is you can barely call it Revisited because it just came out in May. And then I'm probably going to take a week off. And then Jenny and I are going to revisit and finally release her AstroTurf record onto iTunes and Spotify and all the other platforms and stuff. And so a couple weeks from now, about a month from now, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna play her AstroTurf record front to back, and then maybe within a couple weeks of that we'll do the same thing with her follow-up album, which is called Red Letter Day. We're gonna sit with that record for a bit and see if it's ready to go or if it needs to be remixed or what. We're just gonna sort of listen to it a couple times. It's been sitting on the shelf for 17 years now, fermenting on the shelf for 17 years, and I think it is due to be served up. So that's what we're going to be doing after. Like I said, this is episode 9, episode 10, and episode 11 are coming up next week and the week after for the Revisited series for Born by the Radio and Lonesome Stretch of Highway. And at some point between now and October, we're going to be recording the follow-up album, which is kind of a hits package, really. It's we're going to be revisiting some of the songs from the MPB canon, and the album is called On a Wayward Wind. And so there'll be songs like Girl in Green, Silver Lining, My Old Friend, DiMaggio, Coming Home Again. Songs like that. Just Monroe's Mandolin, which is, not even all that old, really. It's only 3 or 4 years old, but certainly worthy of being on a hits package. So that's we're going to be recording that this year, along with 3 or 4 new songs that I have ready to go as well. So that'll be fun to record in the next 6 months or so, whenever that may be. Still a lot of moving parts there to hammer that all out. Anyway, gang, thank you very much for tuning in today. Jody, thank you very much. Here is Life is Funny. And there's a part of this song that really feels, the chorus really feels like Paul Westerberg to me. Maybe it's just the melody or it's the way the notes fall on top of the chords. I don't know, but it really feels like Westerberg, which is a good problem to have as far as I'm concerned. Well, the future ain't what it used to be. At least that's what I've been told. At the end of the day, what lies beyond, well, I guess God only knows. You can't predict the future or change the past. There's water halfway up the glass. Hey, buddy, that's just the way it goes. Life is funny, but we don't always laugh. Lighten up, buddy, while now is in your grasp. You can rest assured, for sure, for today will soon slip past. Life is funny, but we don't always laugh. There was a time as a younger man I felt older than today. I had the picture perfect plan, and then it all just slipped away. Paid no mind as the years went by. I didn't have much, but I was rich in time. Hey, buddy, what else can you say? But life is funny, and we don't always laugh. Lighten up, buddy, while now is in your grasp. You can rest assured, for sure, for today will soon slip past. Life is funny, but we don't always laugh. One day the time will come that my time will come to pass. Lower me down with the setting sun is all I really ask. And where you stand, I once stood. I wouldn't change a thing even if I could. 'Cause life is funny, but we don't always laugh. Life is funny, but we don't always laugh. Lighten up, buddy, while now is in your grasp. You can rest assured, for sure, for today will soon slip past. Life is funny, but we don't always laugh. You can rest assured, for sure, for today will soon slip past. Life is funny, but we don't always laugh. Well, all right. Thank you very much for joining me on this Wednesday night. All of you. Thank you, Steve, Murray, June. Who else is on here? Jackie. Everybody, all these names I see. Peter, Michelle. Who else? Jody. Did I already say Jody's name? I think I may have. All right. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for spending your evening with me. And I will see some of you guys, whoever's on Instagram and up at that ungodly of an hour. I will see you at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow morning on Instagram for a cup of coffee. I'll see you Sunday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for episode, 26, I think, of Easy Like Sunday Morning. And I'll see you back here next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I think it's March 10th for episode 10 or 11 or something, I don't know, of the Revisited series, Born by the Radio. Have yourselves a great day, gang. Great evening. Take care of yourselves and of each other. And I will see you guys around. Take care.